my seasoning pastry, I'm going to be using short crust pastry, not puff pastry, but short crust, because I think it tastes more better and sweet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flour my surface with just flour, and I'm going to roll this out because my seasoning pie is going to have a pastry bottom and a pastry top. So I'm just going to roll that out to fit my dish. So I think that's wide enough. I've kept it about an inch thickness. So I'm going to be using this. Let me grease it with a bit of oil. Like so. And then I'm going to blind bake this as well. So I'm going to get some parchment paper, and actually place the pastry first, like so. Then I'm going to get my parchment paper, put it inside, and then I've got some baking beans, and I'm just going to fill the dish with that, and that's going to stop the pastry from rising. So there we go. Let me just trim the edges of the pastry. And then I'm going to bake this on 180 degrees for about, say, like 13 minutes. See how it goes. So whilst my bottom layer of pie is baking, I'm going to start with the fillings. I'm going to use, I'm not sure how many onions I'm going to need, but I'm going to start off with 2.5 onions. So let me chop them up. I've actually decided to use 3 large onions and a half there, just so that there's enough fillings. And then just finely slice them. So you're going to slice all your onions, and then we're going to boil them in water. I've already got my water boiling on the stove. So make some room for the others. My knife needs sharpening. There we go. Then transfer them into your boiling water, hot water. Break them up as you're putting them in, and you're only going to boil them when the water starts boiling. I'm gonna add a bit of salt to this, about a teaspoon. And then just going to cover this up and just let it come to a boil. Let's check on our pie. Still needs a bit more time. So my onions are done now. And so what I'm going to do is now just get a slotted spoon like this and then transfer the onions into a bowl. I'm going to run them under cold water. Just going to soak them into cold water for a bit so they cool down quicker. Oh, the bowl's getting hot now. In cold water. Like so. Just to cool them down. Next, get a handful of onions and then rinse all the water, as much water as possible, out of the onions. Like so. And put them in another dish. Now, if your children's or if you yourself don't like chunky onions, then like me, get a scissors and then chop them into smaller pieces. So yeah, do this with the remaining onions. So there you are, this is my onions all rinsed out, and like I said before, get yourself a scissors and then just chop them into smaller pieces. Right, I'm going to transfer my onion into a larger bowl here so that it's easier to mix. Right, so to your onion mixture, you're going to add grated cheese. So I'm going to add the whole packet. How much have I got here? 450 grams. I'm actually going to save some. I'll tell you why after. Yeah. I'm going to be using that later on. I'm going to use 2 packets of mozzarella cheese here. Where's my scissors gone? So I'm just going to basically just rip it with my hands. and the other one. Just tear it up. There you go. I'm going to wash my hands and I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. So pepper, lots of pepper, and then salt. Now be careful with your salt. Cheese has got enough salt in it as well, so you don't want to go overboard with the salt. That should be enough. And then with the clean hands, just mix everything together. Like that. So this is your filling now. And now my filling's ready to go inside the pie. Right, okay, so I forgot an ingredient here. Eggs. I'm going to use 2 eggs. Now you can make cheese and onion pie without eggs, but trust me, it's better with eggs. Try making one without eggs and one with eggs and you'll know the difference. It adds another texture to it. It combines everything together, and obviously there's the flavor as well. So mix it, and I'm gonna add them to the onion mixture. I might just leave some in the bowl for the garnish at the end. So just leave some for the egg wash at the top. So I'm going to mix this again. Like this. There we are. Now I'm just going to put this aside. Just put it here. Just give everything a good wipe. Like that. Now my pastry, I've actually, instead of 13 minutes, I baked this for 30 minutes. Then I got rid of the parchment paper with the balls, and I put it back in the oven like this for another 5 minutes, and now it's golden. So what I'm going to do to this, I'm going to put half my filling in here, spreading it evenly out. Now this cheese and onion pie is going to be loaded. I mean, every bite you take, you're going to get a mouthful of cheese and onion filling. Just the way it should be. So there it is. Now, what I didn't mention at the beginning, there is a twist to my cheese and onion pie. This isn't just any cheese and onion pie. Now, it might shock you, and it might put some of you off, but don't judge until you try it. I'm going to be adding spinach. Yeah, spinach. Now, like I said, don't judge unless you have a go at this. Remember when I said gonna save some cheese, or gonna save it for this, gonna put a thin layer of cheese here, then I'm gonna put a thin layer of spinach. They are washed already. Now, I've not tried this before, cheese onion with spinach, but I can imagine it. It sounds nice, and I love spinach. So, I'm not going to go overboard with that. You know, not really. And then I'm going to top it up again. Oh yeah, my cheese. Another layer of cheese here. And then top it up again with your cheese filling. There. So there we are. Like I say, it is loaded. One slice of this cheese onion pie is going to fill you up. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to start rolling my top pastry. I'm going to flour my surface again. Get my rolling pin out. There we are. Get my pastry back and place it on top. And then just with your thumbs, seal it at the edges. Press it and just pull it up slightly, just so it gets a nice shape. And then I'm going to trim the edges, if I can find my small knife. Found it. But obviously, if you don't like spinach, just skip that part. Now I'm going to make 2 holes in the center so the steam comes out like that, and then egg wash it. Now you've got enough pastry left over if you want to make any like designs at the top, which I'm actually thinking about it. There you are. I've made some triangle shapes. Just make some slots at the sides then for the steam to come out. There you go. And now I'm going to bake this in the oven on 180 for about, say, like 15 minutes until it gets golden brown. There. So I baked my pie for 20 minutes and this is how it looks. Oh, silly me. I'll get that closer up for you to see. Now, doesn't that look delicious? Even without cutting it. So let's cut a slice whilst it's hot. Get myself a plate ready. Is that too big? Is that too big for you? I'll cut a small slice. Now obviously by tomorrow it's going to dry up a bit more, and it's always best to have it the second day, isn't it, Salma? Isn't it? Second day.
Yeah.
So if it's a bit runny now, that's only because I got it out of the oven, so it needs to dry up a bit more. See, like all the filling is actually in the pie. Just going to spoon it out. But like I said, this is going to dry up by tomorrow. And there's all the spinach. Put them at the side. You see that cheese? There you are. All that cheese full of goodness. So give it a go and let me know how yours turns out. So I thought I'd show you how a piece looks the next day after it sets, because yesterday when I cut it straight out of the oven it was a bit runny and it didn't look a bit presentable. So let's see how today's looks. There you go. Now that's much better, isn't it? And then you can see the layer of spinach there, which maybe I should have added more. So yeah, it holds its shape up more when it's cooled down.